Hi, this supplementary math lesson for Algebra 2, Lesson 68C. We're continuing to use our scientific calculator now to do powers and roots, okay? So again, you have to learn how to do this on your particular calculator. Okay, let's get right into some examples. In their lead up to some examples, they gave some example things of what we might have to do some weird raising of powers or roots of numbers. For example, we might want to raise 23 to the power of pi. Okay, now on the calculator instructions in the book, they say the button that you use to raise to the power is something like that, y to the power of x. Okay, on my calculator it does not have that particular button. What it has is this caret symbol, which indicates being raised to the power. Okay, so how I do this problem on my calculator, I would enter in 23. I would hit that caret button, and it gives me that caret symbol after the 23, and then I hit the pi button on my calculator. It gives me a pi down in the lowercase, but actually what it means is 23rd raised to the power of pi. So it actually does that. I hit the equals. I get 18,966.80 with other decimals. Okay, and that's what the book got as well. Okay, now to do roots. Okay, now if I'm going to do a square root problem, which is just square root of 23, okay, I have a square root button. It's in the secondary function though, so I have that second function button. Okay, then I've got a button here that's x squared, but the second function on that button is the square root symbol. Okay, so sorry here, let me move my screen a little. I'm running off the board there a little bit, I see. Okay, so if I'm going to take 23 now on my calculator, I have to do the square root function first before I put the numbers in. So I hit the second button to get to the secondary function, the square root button, and it gives me a parentheses when I do that. Okay, so right now it gives me the square root symbol and a parentheses. So everything that goes underneath the square root symbol, I have to put inside that parentheses. Well, for this one, it's only 23. I close off that parentheses because I have another parentheses button. Okay, then I hit equals, and it gets equals to 4.79. Okay, that's if I'm just taking a normal square root. Okay, now if I'm taking the root to any other power, okay, here I'm taking 23 to the root of pi. Okay, the pi root. Okay, what that means. So in that case, I have another button, and it's actually the caret button on my calculator. The secondary button on that has an X and then a square root symbol. Okay, which the X stands for the root, and the square root symbol represents the number under that symbol. Okay, so in other words, to do this problem, what do? Okay, I go to my secondary function and I hit that caret button to give me that secondary function. And oh, no, that's not the way I do it. So I notice it's given me a message that I don't like. Okay, what I have to do actually is I have to put in that number pi first, and then I hit pi. Then I go to the secondary function and hit that function, and then that what it gives me, it gives me the X up there, which means that's the number. That's the root, and it gives me my square root symbol. Okay, now in that case it doesn't give me a parentheses. and then I'm going to put 23 in there. Okay, and I'm going to hit equals, and I get a 2.71. Okay, 301, yada yada yada. And let's see, that's what the book does. So that's the procedure I have to do it. So when I do the square root symbol without a special root, I have to hit that function first. If I do a root other than the square root, other than 2, I have to put in that root first, then I hit the secondary function and go to that special root function. Okay, it gives me that. Now if I have a complicated expression inside my square root symbol, I can put that parentheses in there because I have parentheses button. Okay, it's not asking for that in this case. Let's go to this problem here. It's the same thing. So what am I going to do? I'm going to type in 3.28, and this is example 68.3 on page 278. If you want to go there with a pause and go there in your textbook. Okay, so I'm going to put in 3.28, then I'm going to hit my secondary function button and go to that special root function with my caret button. Okay, what does it give me? It gives me an X up here and a square root symbol. I'm going to type in the number under the square root symbol. 50.42. I'm going to hit equals. I get 3.30435, yada, yada, yada. Okay, on down the line. Let's check it with the book's answer, and that's what the book has as well. Okay. Now, another thing to keep in mind, if it's important to you, is we can express a regular square root, such as the square root of 23. Remember, according to our rules, we can also express that as 23 to the 1/2 power. Okay, 23 to the 1/2 power. Okay, so I can do the same thing up here. I can express this as 50.42. Okay, I'm going to raise it to the 1 over 3.28 power. Okay, well, how do I do that? Okay, on my calculator, okay, I'm going to use this raising to the power button. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to type in 50.42. I'm going to hit that caret button, raising to the power. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a parentheses, okay, and put in 1 divided by 3.28. Okay, why? Because in the order of operations of things, and I'm sorry, let me get over here. Okay, if I don't do that, if I just put in raised to the power of 1 and then divide it by 3.28, remember the order of operations is to do exponents first and then do multiplication and division. So what it would do, it was raise 50.42 to 1 power, and then it would divide it by 3.28. That's not what I want. Okay, I want it raised to the power of this. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put 50.42, my caret symbol, parentheses, 1 divided by 3.28. I'm going to close off the parentheses. I'm going to hit the equal button. And what do? It gives me the same answer as I did up here. Now, let me do that without the parentheses button. 50.42 raised to the power of no parentheses, just 1 divided by 3.28. Okay, I get 15.37195, yada, yada, yada. Much different. Okay, so you can see how that would not work. Okay, so that's just to show you there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. Okay. Let me just put the 3.304. Okay. Now let's go to our next example, and this is example 68.4 at the bottom of page 278. Okay. I have a 9.26 raised to a negative power. Okay. I can put it in just like it shows there. Okay. I can put in a 9.26. Okay. 9.26. I'm going to raise it with my caret button. Hit my caret button. Okay. And what am I raising it to? A negative. I have that negative button. I have that negative button from last. Looks like that. Assigns a negative value to the number. I'm going to hit that negative button. Gives me a negative up there. 4.58. Okay. And then I'm going to hit enter. Okay. And it gives me a 0.000037 yada yada yada. Let's check what the book has. Okay, and this actually was on that example. It was they have a two-part A and B. This is the B part of that, and the answer for that is on page 279, and they express it in exponential form. 3.74 times 10 to the minus fifth is what the book answer is. Let me see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimal places over would be 3.74 times 10 to the negative fifth. So this answer, okay, checks out. So that's the way to do it. Now, another way to do these problems, and this is a different variation that you can use on your calculator. Okay, we recognize any number raised to a negative power, that number can be switched to the denominator and change the sign of the power. Or if it's in the denominator, we can switch it to the numerator and change the sign of the power. Okay, in other words, we can express this number as 1 over 9.26 to the power of 4.58. Okay, so what will it be? It will be the inverse of 9.26 to the 4.5 power. How can I do that on my calculator? Okay, I can do that by typing in 9.26. 9.26. I'm going to hit my caret symbol. I'm going to raise it to the 4.58 power. 4.58 power. Okay. Then I'm going to hit on my calculator, and let me try out. I have enough room to write this. I have a x to the minus 1 button. And of course, we know by definition, x to the minus 1 equals 1 over x. It equals the reciprocal of x. I'm sending the x down into the denominator, and I'm changing the sign from minus 1 to plus 1. Okay, over here, what am I going to do? I'm going to hit that x minus 1 button, and what does it do? It gives me a minus 1 up here in that number, and I'm going to hit equals. Okay, I get 1.62573 yada yada yada. I notice, whoa, that's not the same number as I got before. Okay, well, why is that? I did this wrong here. Okay, what I did here is I need to do the reciprocal of that whole number. So I got to put that number in brackets, like so, and then take the reciprocal. Let's try that. Okay, I'm going to put in my brackets 9.26 caret symbol to the 4.58 power. Close off my brackets, then hit the reciprocal button. I get equals 0.0000374, yada, yada, yada. That is the correct answer that I got the first time around. So the point of that, and I went through that purposefully to show you, you have to know the proper order of putting things into your calculator. It's going to give you answers either way, but you got to make sure you know what you are doing there, okay? Because entering it in this way was not the same as entering it in this way, okay? I want to take the reciprocal of that whole of this expression, okay? I wanted the reciprocal of this expression, not just the reciprocal of the power. So what I did here is it was effectively saying 9.26 to the 1 over 4.58 power. Okay, that did not equal that that number there. Okay, so figure out the way that the lesson here is. You got to learn your calculator and how to put in things properly in them. So use these examples to know how to input different roots and different powers and different negative powers and reciprocals even, because that might come up in future lessons. Okay, so I hope that helps. Shoot an email or a text message with any problems. So long for now.